Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Muhammad Junaid Said. Dear students, in the last lecture, we have studied about the chi-square distribution and also studied there are two types of the chi-square distribution. One of them is the chi-square test for goodness of fit, and the second is contingency table. In the previous lecture, we already learned that about contingency table, but here today lecture is on the chi-square test for goodness of fit. First of all, we studied what is the procedure for a goodness of fit test. So, procedure for a goodness of fit test. First of all, just like a previous test, we formulate null and alternative hypothesis. Formulate the null and alternative hypothesis as first one is H naught, the population has specified probability distribution. The population has a specified probability distribution. And second point is for second H naught, H1, that is alternative hypothesis. H naught is the null hypothesis and H1 is the alternative hypothesis. The population does not have a specified probability distribution. And the second point, just like a previous test, the chi test and the contingency table, we choose the significance level. The significance level normally we used as alpha, which is equal to 0.05. And third one is the test statistics. The test statistics. The test statistics is which is chi square, which is equal to summation I1 to k OI minus EI whole square over EI. In this relation, OI is the observed value of the frequency and EI is the expected value of the frequency, which H naught is true has this test statistics which H naught is true has an approximate chi-square distribution with degree of freedom for goodness of test which is equal to k minus 1 minus number of estimated parameters which is denoted as small m, where k is the number of classes in a problem and small m which is equal to number of estimated parameters. The number of estimated parameters. The number of estimated parameter may different for different distributions. Like when we use a Poisson distribution, in the Poisson distribution there is only one parameter which is theta and denoted as mu. So for Poisson distribution, the degree of freedom, the value of m is equal to 1 because there is only one parameter. Similarly, when we see the normal distribution, there is only two parameters, that is mu and standard deviation. So we use for normal distribution, in the place of m is equal to 2, and similarly just like a binomial distribution, etc. So the value of m changes from distribution to distribution. In the fourth step, determine the critical region. In the fourth step, you can choose first critical region or compute the expected value. But I write in the fourth step first, compute the expected values and the value of chi-square. Compute the expected values and the value of chi-square. In the fifth step, how we compute the value of expected value? It depends upon the distribution, which criteria are used in that distribution to compute the expected values. When we solve a problem, then we will understand easily how expected values solve for different problem. In the fifth step, determine critical regions, determine critical region which depends on alpha and degree of freedom, just like a contingency table and the chi-square distribution. In the sixth step, find out the conclusion. Find out the conclusion. Reject H naught if the computed value of chi-square is greater than or equal to the table values k minus 1 minus m. If the computed value is greater than from the table values for the chi-square, then we reject H naught. Otherwise accept H naught. This is the procedure for Pearson's chi-square test for goodness of fit. Dear students, in the last step conclusion, simply how we find out the conclusion? If the computed value is greater than from the table values, if the computed value is greater than from the table values, then we reject our null hypothesis, otherwise we accept the null hypothesis. Now we are going to an example to understand what is the Pearson's chi-square test for goodness. First of all, we check this example. Let's see. Test the hypothesis that the following frequency distribution follows a normal distribution. So here the normal distribution are given and we use the parameters in a problem, the normal distribution, and you know very well what is the parameters of the normal distribution. There are two parameters for the normal distribution. One of them is mean and second one is standard deviation, and we use alpha 0.05. The stock returns, the table are given, the stock returns and the frequency. Stock returns mean 10 but less than 20 and 20 but less than 30. When 10 to 20, this interval, the values of the frequency comes 2. From 20 to 30 interval, the values of frequency comes 4. 30 to 40, the values of frequency comes 8. 40 to 50 interval, the values of frequency comes 15, and up to so on. 70 but less than 80 is 5. This is our problem. Now we apply the normal distribution on this table and we use alpha 0.05. Now first of all, we find the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So for this problem, H naught, the null hypothesis, the distribution is normal because it's given in a problem, and H1 is the alternative hypothesis, the distribution is not normal. Dear students, when we use the chi-square test, simply chi-square test, then there are three possibilities. for the null and alternative hypothesis, and when we use the contingency table, there are only one only one null and alternative hypothesis which are given in a problem, and also similarly for the contingency table. In the Parison's chi-square test for goodness of fit, there are only one distribution which are given in a problem, and we use null hypothesis always. First one is the distribution which are given in a problem. If the distribution in a problem is normal, then we choose the null hypothesis is normal. If the distributions is binomial, then we use the H naught, the distribution is binomial, and when the distribution is Poisson, then we use H naught in a problem as Poisson. When the distribution which are given in a problem is Poisson, then H naught is also a Poisson. But in the H1, that is alternative hypothesis, is not normal, mean those distribution are given in a H naught, we choose NT, mean not distribution which are in H naught, just like this. The distribution is not normal for H1. And in the second step, choose the significance level alpha which are given 0.05. The test statistics always use this formula for the test for goodness of fit. Chi-square summation OI, which is the observed value, and EI is the expected values whole square divided by EI. This, which if H naught is true, this always hold, this statistics always hold when H naught is true. If H naught is true for this problem, then we say this computation, this formula holds. With degree of freedom is k minus 1 minus m, and k is the number of classes and m is the number of estimated parameters. Dear students, those frequencies which are given in a problem, and those intervals which are just like in example Stokes, and this interval, count these intervals, and these interval shows the number of classes, and which is 7. So we use, instead of k is 7, and minus 1 and m is the number of estimated parameters. For the normal distribution, you know there are two parameters, mu and standard deviation, which is equal to 2, and 7 minus 1 minus 2, which is equal to 4. This is the degree of freedom for our problem. Now we compute in the fourth step. If we check, dear students, procedure of the test for goodness of fit, then you conclude that in the fourth step we find out the computations. For the computations, we solve this. We solve this thing, EI and OI. OI is the observed value which are given in a problem, just like a frequency, and expected values are not given. First we find the expected value, and for finding the expected value we have the value of mean and standard deviation also given, but here this mean and standard deviation are not given. We first find the mean and standard deviation. Now check this, dear students, these are the intervals 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and 70 to 80, up to so on 70 to 80, and frequency are also given in a problem 2, 4, 10 to 22, 20 to 30 interval, the frequency is 4, 30 to 40, the frequency is 8. Dear students, what is frequency? Frequency mean in this problem generally 10 to 20 how many things are repeated, 20 to 30 how many things are repeated, 30 to 40 how many things are repeated, mean 2 things, 4 things and 8 things respectively. And now here we find mean and standard deviation. Understand? First of all we find mean. In the previous dear students, we have learned in the previous classes how we will find the mean when the intervals and frequencies are given. We use the coding test. First of all we find the midpoint 10 to 20. 10 plus 20 divided by 2 is equal to 15. 20 plus 30 divided by 2 is equal to 25. 30 plus 40 divided by 2 is equal to 35, up to so on. Find out the midpoint, which is denoted as small xi. Dear students, be kept in mind here this is a small xi for the midpoint I use. Now we find u. U is equal to xi minus a over h. This is the formula. A is the suppose which we have to find the midpoint. Dear students, what is A? When we find the midpoint, the value which are in between 1, 2, 3 are also left from the upper, 1, 2, 3 are also left from below, and these are the 45. This is the value of A. This is the value of A which I select, 45, and minus xi divided by h. H is the interval for h is the height of the interval 10 to 20, 20 to 30. What is the height? 20 minus 10 is equal to 10. 30 minus 20 is equal to 10. Mean height is 10. So this is u, and now how we find the mean? Mean is equal to a plus summation fi ui over summation f. Find u. We first we put 15 in this formula, and 15 minus 45 divided by 10, answer is equal to minus 3. 25 put in this formula, 25 minus 45 divided by 10 is equal to minus 2. 35 put in this formula, minus 45 divided by 10 is equal to minus 1, up to so on. Find these ui, and also then next table is you have to form f into ui, multiply the value of f and ui. 3 into 2 minus 6, minus 3 into 2 minus 6, minus 2 into 4 is minus 8, 8 into minus 1 minus 8, up to so on. Find this table, and at the end adding this into this column, which is equal to 46. And similarly find next, but we find mean a plus summation fiu over summation f. Value of a is 45 and summation fiu which is equal to 46, and summation f which is the frequency that is observed, which is 69 divided by, and solve this, and answer will equal to 46.16. I think so. Answer is equal to 46.16, which is the mean. And now we have to find the standard deviation. For the standard deviation, you know the formula is summation fx square over summation f minus summation fx over summation f whole square root. Dear students, first we find f of x and f of x square. Multiply f of f with small x, which is the midpoint, 15 into 2, 30, 25 into 4 is 10, 100, 35 into 8 is 280, up to so on. Find this f of x column, and now f of x square, taking the square of this 15 square and multiply by f, which is equal to 450, and up to so on, solving this column, which results by adding is equal to this. Now we are putting the values in this formula, and also result is equal to 14.91, which is the standard deviation. Now we have computed S and mean, because these are the two important things to formulate the expected value, which are given in the formula. Now we are going to the next. Here small stock returns 10 but less than 20, we write this again, and the observed frequency, which is denoted as OI, write down as it is. And what is X here? Dear students, the previous X is a small x and it is a midpoint, but here this X is those value which is the upper bound, or you say the upper limit. 10 to 20 stock returns 10 but less than 20 means 10 to 20, and this value we write, which value we write in the X column? Those value which are upper bound in this interval, or you say on other way upper limit which is equal to 20, which is less than 20. Dear students, what is the upper bound of 10? What is the upper bound of 10? Which is 11, 10 also upper bound, 11 also upper bound, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, up to so on 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. These are the upper bounds. But here we discuss only those which are in this interval, 10 to 20. So the 20 is the last upper bound, and which we write, which is equal to 20. Mean 10 to, in this interval, the most greatest upper bound is equal to 20. The 10 to 20 interval, the most greatest upper bound or upper limit, upper bound, but this upper bound just relate with the mathematics, which we understand in the calculus chapter number 1. Upper bound, lower bound are also in the 5th semester in the real analysis. These upper bounds relate with this, but here slightly different. 10 to 20, the upper bound from 10 is all about greater than from 10, but this shows 20 less than, mean all upper bounds less than 20, but which we write in this column the most greatest, which is equal to 20 in this interval. And similarly also 20 to 30, this interval, the most upper bound, greatest upper bound from the 20 is, in this interval is 30. And similarly 30 to 40, the most greatest upper bound in this interval is 40. And similarly up to so on 60 to 70, the most greatest upper bound is, in this interval is 70. But in the last column you check, dear students, 70 to 80 mean there is no interval after this, but the upper bound from 70 is 70, 71, 72. 70 is the least upper bound. 70, 71, 72, 73 up to so on. 80 is also an upper bound, and up to so on onward, because if you see according to above, you say this is, here the greatest upper bound is 80, but it is not correct, because there is no interval in the next. If there is no interval in the next in a statistics, then we say the last upper bound, which is greatest, which is equal to infinity. So now we find the value of Z. How we will find the value of Z? The formula of Z is small x minus small x bar over S. Small x is the mean and S is the standard deviation, and small x is the upper bound. upper bound which are given in the x column. So small x first we find for 20, we write 20 minus small x bar is the mean, which we find I think so 46.16, and the value of s is 14.91, and its result is equal to minus 1.75 when we solve. Similarly, when we put we write minus 1.75 in the column z. When we put 30 in small x, dear students, write in capital X. If we write 30 capital X instead of capital X and minus from mean and divided by s, then answer is equal to minus 1.08. When we put 40 in this formula and minus the mean and standard deviation divided by, and the result is equal to minus 0.41, up to so on, find these. But in the last, when we put infinity instead of x, capital X, minus mean, which is 46.16, then our result, check it, infinity minus 46.16 divided by 14.91, and results is equal to also infinity. You know infinity minus this, answer will goes to infinity, and infinity divided by this also goes to infinity, which is the value of z. So we write the infinity. So now we find the area below and the area within. How we find the area below? Dear students, we use the table. These tables are not given in a book. We download from the internet the tables of z to find the area. Dear students, first of all, we find out the value of z, area below. For the value of z minus 1.75. Check it. Students, our value is minus 1.75. But in this column, these are the z. This is a minus 3.4, minus 3.3, minus 3.2, minus 3.1, up to so on goes. And right side in the rows, in the columns, minus 0.00, 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, up to so on. So we find minus 1.75, which is the value of z from the table. Dear students, first we check minus value from this column. Minus 1.7 is this, minus 1.7, minus 1.7, and then also see in the 5 mean, when we write minus 1.7 and add in this, which is 0.05. When we add, minus sign are not given in this, but you this is the understood. If the minus signs are come in this, if the minus signs are come in this column, then also minus sign comes in this column, in this values. If the minus sign are not come in this column, then mean in this column is the sign is positive, and we also write in the column in this row write positive. So add this 5 as it is, 7.1, which is minus 1.75. So it's our required result, and we find the correspondence value between minus 1.7 and 0.05, which is the corresponding value is 0.0421, 0.0421, and I write this only 0.04. Similarly, find minus 1.08, minus 1.08, minus 1.08, which is the value of z. So first of all, we find minus 1.0. in the column, minus 1.0. Here this is the minus 1.0, minus 1.0, and the correspondence value which we check, minus 1.0, and correspondence value is 0.08. Find 0.08. So we find out this is a 0.08, 0.7, 0.07, 0.08, and we now find the correspondence value between 0.08 and our result minus 1.0. So this is the correspondence value. This is the correspondence value, and this value is equal to 0.1401. 0.14. This is the 0.1401, and we write, and I write this 0.14. Understand? So find all the values by using the value of z from the table. This is the area below, and when we find the value of, when we check the value z is equal to infinity in the table, it is always equal to 1. You be kept in mind. Now find the area within. Area within. What is area within? Dear students, we use this from anti-side, reverse side. First of all, we find the difference between this and this, mean 1 minus 0.95, and its result is equal to 0.05, and we write in this 0.05. This is the area within. And now secondly, we find 0.95 minus 0.82, and its result is equal to 0.13. Find the difference, and result is equal to in this. Similarly, find up to so on the values, and in the last there is only one value, and we write as it is 0.04. So dear students, when we add the area within and the result comes is equal to 1, this shows that your problem that you have to solve is correct. So the expected frequency is, for the expected frequency, the summation of OI multiply by area within. Area within. Students, what is sum of the observed value? You know, this is the observed value OI, which sum is equal to 69, and we write always 69, and area within. First, the area within is 0.04, right? 0.04, and its result is equal to 2.76. Similarly, for the next column, for the next expected value, expected frequency EI, you multiply 69 with 0.10, and the result is equal to 6.90, and also 69 multiplied by with 0.20, and its result is equal to 13.80, up to so on, solving this expected values at the end. Hopefully you understand how we will find the expected value. Now we have the expected value, and then we are going to the original test statistics formula. You know, dear students, the test statistics formula is the chi-square summation I1 to k OI minus EI whole square over EI. So we find this. So first of all, we write again observed frequency table and expected frequency, which we find out in the previous table. Now we find the difference OI minus EI. We write this and taking the square and also this, and then divided by EI, and results is equal to this in the column, and also sum up this whole column, and results is equal to 11.5147, which is the computed values which we find from the formula. So in the fifth step, the critical region, and this is the critical region, 0.05, this is the degree of freedom. We find the table for the chi-square and we seen that this 9.49 is the value of this value. 9.49 is the value of chi-square, which we seen from the table, and so we this is the computed value for goodness of test, and this is a value of the chi-square 9.49. So the computed value is greater than from the table value. So the computed value of the chi-square is 11.5147, which is greater than table values, that is 9.49, and chi-square, which is equal to this, lies in a critical region. We study in a procedure, if the computed value is greater than from the table values, then we say this computed value lies in a critical region, mean we reject the null hypothesis. We reject our null hypothesis. Hopefully you understand this example and the procedure for the chi-square test for goodness of fit. Inshallah, we understand what is the difference, how you understand which formula, which tests are applied for the problem. Either it is contingency or the goodness of test, or simply chi-square. We understand these things in the upcoming video, inshallah. Hopefully you understand this. If you have any question, please write in a comment box. Okay, Allah Hafiz.